Welcome to Getcha Popcorn Ready podcast. It's your host, Hatch, my boy. T.O. in the building. You already know what it is. Stop playing.
Popcorn ready.
But you know what? You know how every week he be talking about how fast he is, right? But today, no, you're
I'm the
not.
fastest
No,
in here right now.
No,
I'm the
ladies and
fastest in here
gentlemen,
right now.
Andrew Hawkins is in the building, ladies and gentlemen, and I guarantee he's faster than T.O. I'm taking all
Put your
bets
money where
right
your mouth is.
there. You got me?
It's your money, right?
Ooh.
As long as it's your money, I'm good to go.
Hey.
We can run it however you want
There
to.
it is. No,
we can do it.
It's all good.
He looks
It's all-
good. I mean, he has great presentation.
He looked fast.
You know
He
what I mean?
looked fast.
Looks real fast.
Hey, man.
Sleek.
Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Looking like a GQ model.
Hey, I got to come in more often. I appreciate y'all having me, man.
All good, man.
Who is that white family up there?
You know what?
That's his folks.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? That's his folks.
I was just, just people.
You know,
I'm just curious. I don't
we
know.
on the plantation.
Okay.
This is the owner's house.
Oh, shit, man.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I know you have a busy schedule. Again, you everywhere, ESPN, NFL Network now, of course, NFL retired receiver. But again, you got 20,000 things going on, man. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you, buddy.
My pleasure, man. I appreciate y'all having me. Ready to get my popcorn ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to dive into it.
Already. Well, see, you're doing 500 things, right? What's your title now? Give us your title.
What is my
five
title?
Things going on. You got documentary. You on the network. What's your title though? You know what I'm saying?
You're not a model either, because you're not no model.
I'm a model first. Number one.
First. That's your
that's
okay.
number one.
Wow.
I call myself a multi-hyphenate because I do a lot of things, but that's a good thing, right? Like
absolutely.
A multi-hyphenate. That means you got,
multi-hyphenate?
Multi-hyphenate.
Okay.
You do a lot of things.
Is there a hyphen before the hyphenate?
It's a hyphen before the hyphen. Because you do a lot of things. There's not one place, where you make your mark. It's kind of like I was as a player. I did a lot of things. I did special teams. See, T.O. don't know about special teams.
First of all,
he refused to get on the kickoff team.
Yeah.
I was a rookie too now.
Yeah, you're right. You was. You was a rookie at some point.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, it's like you do everything and kind of parallel path and build all these things up together. So I have my own company that I co-founded with my partner Troy Jones. Status
What's
Pro.
the name of that company?
That company is called Status Pro. It's a sports technology company that majors in XR.
Status quo, status pro.
See, you quick. See,
I'm over here with you, dog. I'm over here with you, dog.
We put that in the notes earlier, y'all. Don't be impressed.
I'm over here with you, man. I'm with you.
Yeah, so we use XR technology to kind of bring a different experience to sports for fans, for enterprise. We work with NFL teams.
So what's XR technology? Is that different from VR?
It's the same. So VR, virtual reality and augmented reality categorizes as XR. So in that we work with teams where we basically can take the NGS data that players wear during the games and their XY coordinates and turn it into 3D plays, kind of like a video game. And players are able to see that. Coaches are able to change the outcome of things or things that a quarterback or a receiver or a linebacker might see in the game, and they're able to visualize and get mental reps without having to be on the field and go full speed there. So we do that in training, we do it in fan engagement on the consumer side and enterprise side. So that's the main thing. Nice. Co-founder and chief business officer there, and then beyond that, man, I have my production company. I do in front of the camera, producing. I mean, you name it, man. I'm trying to do everything.
Well, again, that's the best part about being in LA, right? It's like you're doing all of those different things, being in different lanes. I tell people that's the best part about being in LA. If you're only in one lane, don't be in LA. Like,
this ain't the
place. That's not
too
the place.
expensive.
It's too expensive being in one lane, right? Got to be doing 4 or 5 different things. So tell us, when did that transition start, though? Because I know, like I said, when you were playing, you had all these ideas. So how did that start when you were playing and getting into different lanes?
Honestly, it started before my NFL career. So what happened was I played at Toledo, which is not the biggest college, right?
You can't say that. I mean, we didn't play at
Langston University.
Yeah, you're right. It actually is the biggest college in here.
There you go. That's the biggest college in here.
It's not often I'm in this position. So I played at a powerhouse at Toledo.
There you go.
And
now he want to rub it in our faces.
Division I receiver.
We trying to be in the same playing field right here. Now
he left us behind.
You want to one-up us?
Y'all little small school kids over there.
Yeah, y'all know nothing about bowl games and stuff.
Wow.
But so I played there.
Absolutely.
I had a pretty good career, just okay, and it was like when I got done. I'm 5'7". Wasn't nobody beating down my door to play professional football. I felt like I had the ability, but I had to go through this crazy long journey to get there. But when I got done playing, I started scouting. I was a scouting intern with the Lions. Nice. I stayed back and coached receivers at Toledo, but I was trying out for Arena, CFL, NFL and nobody was giving me any play. And that was the tough time because like all of us were former athletes, right? So when you get done with playing, there's this moment of like, yo, what?
Yeah,
It's over. Who am I, right? Like you never really put that amount of thought into when this thing stops, it's done. And so going through that, it took me 3 years from that moment to me getting to the NFL, and I had to go on reality shows.
Right.
I had to go play in Canada.
Right.
Like,
The Michael Irvin.
the Michael Irvin show, fourth and long.
So the fourth and long, so you're welcome, because the fourth and long was kind of my idea.
We stole it from you?
We talked about that.
We was creating a show. We were gonna go take guys who would try out and give them a tryout. If they make
talked about it.
right, they're gonna get a tryout with a real NFL team. So I'm going around LA kind of pitching it or whatever. And I remember I pitched it to one producer who got a meeting with somebody at Jerry Jones' office. You know how it is in LA, after you pitch, you just kind of let it die down. And we turn on the TV like 6-8 months later, we like, that's the exact same show, you know. But you know, it's LA, so everybody pitches everything. We get it, but
so they stole it from you. So Jerry Jones like, this is a good idea. How about instead of Hatchet?
There you go.
We go with Michael Irvin.
There it is.
Bro.
Sold.
You can say they stole your show.
Oh, it's all good though. You know.
I
I have many more ideas. I ain't tripping.
Hey, there you go, man.
Close to vest. No pun
Literally.
intended.
It's LA. all ideas, everyone gonna
Everybody's
take.
done.
But
yeah.
I appreciate it.
All good.
So I did fourth and long.
right.
I was a runner-up of that show. From there, I got a CFL contract. But like when I got back to the NFL, I played in CFL for 2 years.
CFL, 2 Grey Cup.
2 Grey Cup championships.
Championships,
T.O., you did your homework, man. I appreciate that in you.
A couple of my friends, Kai Hebert played with the Montreal Alouettes.
Yep,
For like
yep.
probably like 6-7 years.
Hebert was
like,
there for a while.
Right, he was like a mainstay. He was like a superstar.
Okay.
And it's a different world up there too. It's dope. It's
Right,
fun.
right.
You get out every day at 1 o'clock, like you in a
Wow.
big city.
It's a different environment. You don't get paid as much.
Nope.
Right. But it's not the
if you're doing what
pressure
you-
and the all-day work environment.
It feels like really, really fundamental, just like the purity of football. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I played there 2 years. I got my tryout in the league and I got to the league. But when I got things back going, because I had already gone through what it was like to have football in for me, as soon as I got to the NFL, my mindset was already focused on it. So in the offseason, I would intern. I would go, meet with people. I would write people emails that I thought were doing great things in business because I understood like, it's going to be easier for me to connect with people while I'm playing
Absolutely.
than afterwards. So I knew I could be like, hey, I'm the starting receiver for the Cleveland Browns
And
or
they
the
will
Cincinnati
return
Bengals.
your call.
They would return my call, I would get game jerseys, 100 after a season, sign them and write handwritten letters to
Absolutely.
people. Like, so I just literally, my whole career, I was just trying to get ready for when
next step.
it stopped.
That's great. Again, that's what telling the audience. That's what this thing is about, right?
Especially these kids, that's
Yes.
good information to be assertive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Especially, really, starting at a high school level, but you don't really know that unless you're being taught that.
Yep.
And then for you, like I said, you took the initiative, but you already had that mindset of what you wanted to do and not people that really, proactive,
Yep.
if you will, to really start really at that stage in your career. Because most of the guys I know, for me, I just wanted to play football. That's all I thought. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'll transition. I'll do this kind of at
Whenever
the end of
I feel
when
time
I'm
comes.
done. Again, but the fact that like you already had the wherewithal to
Do it in the
create
middle.
and curate some of these relationships, that's a great tip
Yeah,
for
for-
a
yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
these college kids. And a lot of, like I said, we have a lot of people watching our show. So moms, dads, and
That's
also
it.
these high school kids.
And especially in college now, because these college stars, they're just as big as NFL stars,
Right.
right?
Some of them making more money.
And some
than
of them making more money.
Now,
About
with
to
the
anyway,
NIL
with the NIL.
deals coming through, it's like they have to understand. I remember Johnny Manziel, like perfect example, right? If he really wanted to coach at Texas A&M, he could. If he wants to go do autograph sessions anywhere in Texas, he could. But that window's eventually going to run out. So like players
Yeah.
like that, when you guys have such a big name in college, take advantage of that time now.
You got to take advantage of the opportunity within the life of the opportunity.
There it is.
And I would love to take all the credit, like I'm just the smartest person. I'm not.
You're the-
My
yeah.
brother played in the NFL for 9 years.
I didn't know that. Who's your brother?
Artrell Hawkins played DB
Yeah.
from 98 to 2008. So literally right before I got there.
Really?
So I got to see the OGs go through. I got to get a first row seat to like, this is what
you
this
could
is
have
what you
done.
do. This is
Yeah.
what you don't do. And so by the time I'm there, I got the answers to the test, right? So
Yeah.
I got people living my life literally 10 years ahead of me.
Yeah.
And to your point, like the young guys, like playing off of what you see other people do. That's the kind of person I try to be. Like I want to learn from what everybody else does, so I don't have to go through it myself.
Right, and what you did, like I said, your brothers they kind of set the blueprint, set the pathway. This is right here. This set right here is a platform.
Absolutely.
They set a platform for you to do what you do. It now, like I said, you're sharing some of this information, with the people that are watching our show, man. So we appreciate all of that. But I want to get on the topic of, like, literally, you're the second best receiver in here.
No. Wow. Dang. Hatch, he said it.
I'm
I ain't gonna argue it.
What they got in here? Y'all drunk? Y'all getting this dude drunk today?
This is second best receiver in here.
So now, see, we usually have all these, like, we have other superstars and Hall of Famers, and I'm left out of the conversation. They sitting there talking to each other like I didn't go to the NFL Hall of Fame, because I went to the Hall of Fame, just not NFL.
Okay, that works.
Right, so they don't be, like, really talking to me. So now that you're here.
Yeah, we kind of like.
If you
hold on. Do you think when you were on the field, right? Doesn't matter who was at X or Y or Z, whatever. When you were physically on the field, who was the best receiver on the field?
Me.
Thank you. So when I say that, he says I'm not allowed to think like that because
I never said you're not allowed. I never said you weren't allowed to think that way.
Hey, you can't even.
I'm not allowed.
Don't even think
he
you
said
good.
You're in
Just
trouble.
sit over there.
You can think the way that you want to think, but there's a such thing
as
that
reality.
We call as reality.
But okay, do you think in reality?
When you play in the NFL, I feel like you can't think in reality.
You can't.
You gotta have irrational confidence. Otherwise, why the hell would I catch a pass over the middle against Ray Lewis?
Absolutely.
Because if I'm thinking in reality, that's not a smart thing to do. Right. But I gotta feel like
I went into every game thinking I was going to get
102 tubs.
You know what I'm saying? And then I go home and I had one catch for 3 yards. Like, this is some bull crap.
Next week,
Next week is back on.
But hey, all this time, like, we've been friends, and our careers have ended. I thought you had like 8 touchdowns.
In my career?
Yeah. No, you only had 6.
No, I had 8. I had playoff touchdowns. Those count. Those are even harder to come by.
Dude,
I don't even know.
We can Wikipedia this. We can Google it, whatever the case.
Who you gonna believe, Google or me? This is about me.
I'm gonna side with Google.
Wow.
I'm gonna side with Google.
Wow.
But you had a total of 60 receptions, 887 yards.
Yep, I was balling.
And how many years? 8 years.
8 years. I was
This guy had 6 years. He played 6 years and had 9 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. It's a different league.
2000.
It's a different league. Tell them y'all throw the ball out more.
He's saying it like them
yards.
is like them is Hall of Fame stats.
And
he had 9. You just had 8.
And he had 209 receptions. Hey. So I'm just saying, mathematically, he's the second best receiver in this room.
Hey, I would say, regardless of mathematically whatever, I think I'm a top 5 route runner to ever play the game of football.
I don't know. I've never really seen you run routes.
I've seen you run routes. Matter of fact, one of his highlight tapes of him running routes is a YouTube.
Probably clinic, like a clinic tape?
Yeah.
A lot of the guys you see in the league now, where you say, oh, they running route.
They're doing it because
they got that because of me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like the Jadakiss of route running. Like, never quite hit the mainstream success.
Yeah.
What? But, top 5 dead or alive.
With that. I'll show you the YouTube.
I'm just saying, I put it out the T.O. You'll see, you'll be like, oh, yeah. Nah, he like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Hawkins,
well,
really?
And this, but
hey,
you're
Jadakiss,
I can say that. I can say that with my chest out. When it comes to route
also
running,
saying that to somebody who really can't run routes.
So
he really doesn't understand.
He don't even get
it. It was a stop route and take it to the house.
So we talking about Jadakiss lyrics to Lil Yachty right now.
Yeah, he don't get it. He's on a different boat.
First of all,
you feel me?
I'm like Drake up in here while y'all trying to diss me. You know what I mean? I'm like Drake up in this piece. But I can't wait till this clip come out, because that's gonna be the headline. I am the Jadakiss of route running.
Absolutely.
We lead.
Book it, GPR.
We leading that. That was a profound
I like it.
I like it.
And he's staying on it.
I like it. But you're going to lose your money if you think he can beat me.
I think you can beat.
In the 46,
because again, me and you were 4-3s, right? Did you ever run a
4-2?
4-2?
Was.
Okay. 4-3-4.
So
what are you right now?
We're 4-3 guys.
Yeah, we were 4-3 guys.
What was yours?
He was a 4-6 guy.
You guys
but he maintained a 4-6 for a very long time. I don't know if I can run a 4-6 anymore. I'll be honest with you.
I definitely cannot.
Yeah, I don't even know what a 4-6 is. That doesn't even
register to you.
with me.
Well, what Google say? Because since you like Google.
No, that back in the day, they probably say I'm fast. Google says fast.
Instead of numbers, it's FAST. That's how you feel.
F.A.ST.
F.A.ST.
Okay.
Fast.
This episode of Getcha Popcorn Ready podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey, we've all been there. Something is interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals? That's why BetterHelp was created, to assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional therapy done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change therapists if needed. It's more affordable than traditional online therapy, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/popcorn. That's BetterHelp, and join over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. Special offer for Get Your Popcorn listeners: get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/popcorn.
But this is the problem I have with him. Since he's fast now for a 50-year-old, he thinks he's fast. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? The 21 and 22-year-olds don't care that he's 50.
They don't care that he's...
They're running legit 4.2, 4.3s.
They're not trying to
right?
hear that.
But he's a 4.5 for a 50-year-old, so he's like, I'm fast. Like, no, you done.
I'm not
That's
running
what you
no
are.
4.5 right now.
You're not running below a 4.5.
Yeah, I am.
See what I'm saying?
Right
Delirious.
now.
You think you can run a 4.4?
Right now.
A 4.49.
Right now. Right now. Let's put his Columbia degree, you know what I mean, to the test right here, you know what I mean? But we're going to get up off this.
Okay,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? What are you doing now to help some of the youth, not just on the field, but off the field?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So I do a lot of... I want to say mentor. I mentor a lot of guys in the league, but even college, that's the biggest passion for me. Even the stuff that I'm doing now is for that reason. Because I always felt like I wish I had somebody else to come up and be like, yo, here's what you can accomplish, here's what you could do. Yeah. Because my track was really, really hard, and I felt like, there were ways to make it easier. So the same way my brother helped give me answers to the test, I try to do that for everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Nice. And I've mentored a lot of guys from literally high school one that are in the league now. That you know what I'm saying, I've known since they was high school, like KJ Hamler, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Deontay Johnson, some of the people that are like now coming into that, always trying to just give the game back to them, and people appreciate that, man. But so I also worked at Uninterrupted for the last 3.5 years as the head of business development, and the whole thing about Uninterrupted in that platform is like athlete empowerment, and again, it's like a whole thing set up to give athletes the answers to the test and help in any way, shape, or form. And it's really just a passion of mine. We live by the mantra, more than an athlete. And I think now you're seeing athletes that are young, old, or wherever understand the opportunity that they have as athletes, right? Like on the field, on the court, and off. Like the candles, right? Like you understand, like, man, you got an ability to drive business and take advantage and set your family up for wealth and really just soak this game for all it's worth. And that's my passion about football, man. I think,
and understanding really their power and the leverage that they have too.
I mean, in reality, everybody's situation is different. Y'all been in locker rooms. Everybody comes from a different situation. There'll never be a time where it's going to be hard to get football players because I grew up with nothing. We grew up, you know what I mean? You have an opportunity to economically change the standing of your family for generations. My brother went through that, and then to me, our kids grow up completely different than the way we did, right? And so as long as that's the case, as long as there's an opportunity, there'll never be a talent problem. But for every athlete, like you said, you got to understand that if you don't use the game of football, the game of football will use you. Absolutely. So for me, there hasn't been one day since I retired in 2017 where I've said, man, I wish I was playing. Literally not one. It's never crossed my mind in no situation, no. And it's not because I didn't love football. Right. It was because, like I said, when I got to the league, my whole mindset was, yo, here's my opportunity to make the most out of this, get my feel, and be on to something else that I'm passionate about and I love, which is why I retired. I could have kept playing. But I was like, yo, I'm not going to get in a situation where I hate the game of football because I love it. And it's changed my life. You know what I'm saying? It changed my kids' life. It changed my family's life. I'll be able to change other people's lives outside of who I am. I'm not going to let somebody make me hate this game that was a blessing from God to me.
You're
You know what I'm
one
saying?
of many, but it won't hit them until adversity strikes. Either they're gonna get cut, they're gonna get hurt,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna be out of the league, didn't manage money properly, what have you. Those guaranteed dollars that if they would stand together to get it,
It'd be a whole different ball
it's a
game.
different ball game.
Yeah.
But
But how
that's
do
the
you
thing.
do that? How do you get 2,000 people?
To be on the same
I
page.
mean,
I don't think it'll ever happen.
It's
It can-
I don't
it
think
can-
it's ever
you can
happened.
put that in any industry,
I'm
any
just-
set of the world. It's hard to
I
get
don't-
2,000
I-
people to
it
rock
just
the same.
it has to be the right, I guess,
the right leadership. You're
Right
going to say
person.
leadership, yeah.
Well, here's something else that you guys though might not think or see. Again, I played in the CFL for 2 years, right? I signed, my first NFL deal came with the St. Louis Rams in 2011, I believe. And I went to an off-season workout with them. It was in the lockout year. And when I'm thinking, shoot, it's taking this long for me to get an NFL contract. These guys they're gonna be like that. I gotta get ready. And I went out there and I was shocked that the receiving core, I thought, and they were talented, they were young, but it was like they weren't as good as the CFL receiving core that I just left. And
Come
it
on.
opened my eyes. And playing in the NFL, you can replace probably the bottom 55
Yep.
to 60% of the NFL
Yep.
with
With
CFL
CFL
players.
player.
Nobody would know the difference. And a lot of it comes down to just opportunity, luck. I mean, you know it. Like, it
Yeah.
makes the difference between,
Yeah,
whether you have 30 touchdowns
Yeah.
or 5 touchdowns, if you have the right coach,
Yeah.
if you got a quarterback,
Yeah.
if you got the right system, those kind of things. And so, to your point about the quarterbacks, even by quarterback standards, there's probably only 15 good quarterbacks on planet Earth.
Yep.
And there's 32 of them starting, right? Like,
Right.
really, really good quarterbacks. Probably at any given time, 15 good quarterbacks.
Yep.
So, yes, players have the power, and if they can come together that way, but I mean, whenever you got a coveted job like anything,
Let
But
me
thing,
You
is,
all could be
somebody has
replaced.
to start the movement. And
it can't be. It's only started when the collective bargaining agreement will be up again, right? So that's the next
not
20.
they can do it now.
They can, but they're not going. Well,
right,
actually, I
they're
guess
not.
contractually,
It could be
yeah, you
done,
can. Right.
but they're just not going to do it.
Right.
They're not going to do it because there's so many guys that are going to they're gonna be like, oh, I love football, I'm passionate.
I'm gonna
and
play.
we're
I'm gonna
in
play
season.
regardless, right? I'm gonna play regardless.
Right. But then I'm telling you, it doesn't hit them until they're out of the league, and then
Of course.
they see like the bills are mounting up. They don't have, like you said, everybody's not fortunate to have
They're not gonna think like you.
right
They're not
the
a-
forward thinking.
we got to change that. That's like the,
No,
you know
no,
what I'm saying?
But I think these are
absolutely.
the conversations that start
Nah,
that put
for
the
sure.
plant the
Right,
seed
because
to
you
get
were
it
so
changed.
forward thinking in what you were already wanting to do. You know what I mean? It was almost like you had a mental plan and then you executed that. You're one in a million.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
Well, that's my goal, man. I want to create more of them. And I think even a lot of like big name players that I'm really, really cool with, they reach out to me because they like, yo, if you could do that with what you did,
Then I should be able to do more.
Imagine what I
Yeah.
could do. And
Right.
that's my whole thing with this too. Like,
right.
yo, you got that opportunity. Football is a marriage that is guaranteed to end in divorce. For anybody watching. So I don't care if you
Absolutely.
college, pro, I don't care how good you are, you could be on top of
yeah.
the world. You think it don't matter. That thing is coming to an end
at some
for everybody.
point.
You'd be an
Absolutely.
idiot to know that the end is coming and not prepare for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So you're in the media now, right? So what's your perception on the narrative that the athletes are able to control their own brand again?
Yeah.
Because I personally think the ESPNs and the networks of the world, they're going to go away because every player is going to have their own channel. They're going to have their own brand. They're going to
Yeah.
do their own thing.
Yeah, I think it's probably somewhere in the middle of that. I agree that like things in sports media, as you can see now, it's changing. You can watch any NFL show today that is good, and it looks completely different than it did 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Well, because in this information age, like we want access. And not only that, when I get the authentic version of Hatch, the authentic version of T.O, I don't want the press conference version
Right.
anymore. And if you're still broadcasting in a way that still looks like that, you're going to start losing,
Viewers.
viewers,
Yeah,
right?
audience.
Because
Yep.
I know how T.O. talks. I know how, Hatch talks. I know what they think. Like, so I want that version of it and not this other version. So I think with players, they've been able to kind of, with social media, talk directly to the people
their
that like
fan base.
them, right?
Yep.
And then there's also a power in, again, not having that filter
Yeah.
of like, oh, this is the version you should. one of my favorite, if not my favorite quarterback in the league is Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar Jackson is himself all the time.
Absolutely.
Right? He wears his hair the way he feel like wearing his hair today.
Absolutely.
He goes in there, he talks, he's authentic, and there's not a player you can hear like talk that way and not feel like, yo, this guy is just himself, genuinely who he is. Who you see is who Lamar Jackson is. I feel more and more players are starting to get to that. Like, yo, I'm not putting on some fake version of me. I'm being me. And fans are like, yo, now I feel like I know you. Now I really feel like I have a vested interest in you.
Yeah, because we're taught to kind of put on a perception or speak a certain way.
Right, yeah.
You know, to be
Media
treated,
training.
To be treated a certain way as well. I mean, it's obviously like I said, you go to school obviously to learn English and articulate yourself and use subject and verbs to, you know, put a sentence together. But then, like I said, you can, like I said, watch TV and know that, you know, who kind of took English more
who's from
serious.
Florida and who's from Texas.
Exactly.
Exactly.
BMO.
Right. And then again, even the way you dress. I mean, for me, like I said, I had this idea.
Yeah, you
or
dress horrible.
perception that, you know what I mean, if you dress a certain way, they're going to treat you a certain way. You know what I mean? They're going to perceive you a certain way. You know, so again, like I said, I started dress preppy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I felt like, okay, I'm dressed
In the
more
box.
like a Caucasian, you know what I mean? So they're going to receive me in a different way. That's just how it was. And, how, you know, so now, like I said, the power of the athlete and, like you said, the empowerment on these platforms, more than athlete, I think it's doing really the black community a great service because it's allowing us to really be who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are outside for so many years. Now they're gravitating to identifying who we are because 10, 20 years ago, they'll look at you sideways. They wouldn't put you on TV or, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They'll look at, start, talking about how the way you're talking.
Yeah.
Now they're more accepting of who we are and how we speak. Because again, it's the same thing with when I came up, and I start, celebrating this, that, and the other. It's the same way how they viewed touchdown celebrations.
Yeah.
It was
the
frowned
bad guy.
upon. Yeah, it was frowned upon.
Yep,
now
how dare
you look
you.
at it now, like they tried to put some, some sticklers on it, tried to take it away, and then they saw the reaction to it. They saw viewership go down.
They wouldn't let us take our helmets off. Can
Right.
you believe that?
Yeah.
It's
Even
like
if-
it seems like it was years ago, but not that long ago. Like NFL players could not take their helmets off after they scored.
And
That's
now
crazy.
everything that I was vilified and criticized for by
the norm.
mainstream white media, now it's being embraced.
Yeah, no, and also it's like things always evolve at some point, right? Whether good, bad, or indifferent, like things are gonna change. But when you look at it now, to your point, like the things that were the norm when you guys were there, you talk about taking the helmet off, celebrating, right? Something that shows emotion. Now on this side of it, it's like, oh, that helps the game. That's the most shareable moment. It gets people talking. It's what the young generation wants to see, and it makes football fun, And now it's easy to say now, like, oh yeah, this is normal, but no one ever goes back and says, yo, T.O., my bad.
Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast is brought to you by ButcherBox. ButcherBox delivers high-quality meat, frozen at the peak of freshness, and packed in a 100% recyclable box right to your door. And even better, shipping is always free. This way you can bypass that dingy store near your house or that long trip to the butcher shop across town. The process is simple. Just choose your box and delivery frequency. That's it. So easy. I love being able to customize my order. In addition to the best ground beef I've ever had, I've been going with the ribeyes and top sirloins and bacon for breakfast. My fridge is now a very happy place, and every week I get exactly what I want. And the folks at ButcherBox must be in a good mood these days because they're offering our listeners ground beef for life. Yes, you heard that right. For a limited time, ButcherBox is giving new members 2 pounds of ground beef in every order for the life of your membership. That means you'll always have something in the freezer for burgers, meatballs, tacos, meatloaf. Did I mention tacos? You do you. Sign up at butcherbox.com/popcorn to get, I repeat, 2 pounds of ground beef in every order for the life of your membership. That's butcherbox.com/popcorn to claim this deal.
That, maybe the popcorn
that
celebration
part.
wasn't as bad as we made it out to
That
be.
part.
Nobody
Nobody ever goes back and says, I'm sorry for that.
Exactly.
I'm glad
still
that
looked at as an arrogant asshole. Like literally, I mean, that's how people, honestly, when
that's what Hatch texted to me earlier too.
He probably did. He probably
He was like, just so you know.
But honestly, like when I've gone out, even now to the day, like even from a professional standpoint, and even personal, people often go off what they hear, especially the years
Especially on
that,
the ESPN clips.
Yeah. When I approach people, I'm already knowing they're looking at me a certain way and they're perceiving me based on how the media has portrayed me during the years that I played. Somewhere during the time that they've spent with me, or toward the end when we're saying our goodbyes, they be like, dude, you're nothing like I thought you were.
Right.
Like, man, I didn't know you were this cool.
Yeah.
I promise to God, it happens so much, bro.
Yeah,
That
I can imagine.
it's disheartening to think that the media has done me such a disservice over these years, because again, if you see how it's done or how people react to me in my personal life, you can only think about and understand how it's affected business, because those business people think about me the same way.
The same way,
Yeah.
So I admit there's a lot of financial implications that have become because of how the media has viewed me. And that's why, like, shows like More Than Athlete, right here with Getcha Popcorn Ready with Hatch and T.O.
I mean, this is the dope version of just sports, where we are in sports media too, is because, like, when I got into it, and again, typically it's like, if you want to go into media, you got to have 6 Pro Bowls, or Super Bowl rings, or Hall of Fame, right? And for guys like T.O., cool, you got that resume. For me, it was like, that's not me. So when I started into it, it was always like, oh, we're gonna look for this guy, or oh yeah, you're really good, but, and I'm like, okay, well, I just stopped doing things where it was, okay, here's X NFL receiver A, because I know for the next NFL receiver, if he's better than me, if he has a better career, he's going to take my job. So
Not that he's better than me at this, but he was a better football player.
Exactly. So I just started doing only things that were personality driven and that were Hawk. I like to have fun. I like to tell jokes. I like to be honest. I like to be me. And I started creating my own content, being like, I'm just going to be me. If I can get paid to be myself, that's a win in life. Absolutely. And that's what I've been doing the last 4 years in front of me. And now this is where the media is going, right? Like, y'all are on here being you. And now this is the norm. Like, so everybody has a hand in that, the same way you had a hand on changing how the NFL perceives players. Now we're doing it on this side.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this podcast. Even when we talked about, just partnering and doing something together, because initially I'm like, I had an idea I was trying to do. I was going to do it on my own. And then, I know him personally. I know he's very charismatic. He's ugly. He ain't as handsome as I am. I'm driving this engine right here.
Yeah.
So, with the both of us, the dynamic, like, seriously talking, like, I just knew that, like, we have a lot to offer. And a lot of people, like I said, they may not know who he is right now.
This guy.
I'm just saying, they may not know who he is, because
they might not know who you is neither.
They know who I am.
And they don't like it.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know where people got the perception you was arrogant, man.
Media's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
When you ran up on my car when you got here and went like this, I'm like, I never saw that coming.
You need an emblem? Like, I don't need an emblem. Get off my car, man.
Get the hell off my car, T.O.
Put a shirt on.
What you doing?
But doing this show with him, man, it's been refreshing, because I know he's gonna give it to everybody real. Like you said, the authenticity of it. We kind of have like a little mantra here. It's like, people think it, we say it. You know what I mean? We say what people think. You know what I mean? And we're not really afraid to really voice our opinion. Just give our takes on whatever it is. And so, obviously, like I said, I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, More Than an Athlete, obviously that's tremendous. I didn't even, prior to us bringing you on the show, I didn't know you were part of that. But I mean, that's refreshing to know, and for our audience, and for especially these athletes and people that are aspiring to be whatever, you had no idea that that's probably what you were going to go into. You know what I mean?
No, that's facts.
But again, transitioning, having a plan, setting it up, and then executing it. That's all a part of it. And really just being an athlete, just having some structure, having some guidance. And like I said, when you talk about that guidance, you had that with your brothers, you know what I mean? Your family members or whatever. It's kind of just put everything in place for you, and then it was up to you. Like I said, that's crazy. Like, I'm not an email guy, but that's admirable for a guy.
You have to email him.
Right.
Right.
He took the initiative to, like, okay, I'm going to email.
You not an email guy, T.O.? In 2021?
Anything that has to deal with professionalism, he's not.
He's not.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Email's professional.
You
So
know what I mean?
anyway. Wow.
I ain't a cell phone guy.
No, but I mean, I use email sparingly.
Yeah.
But
you can write me a regular letter if you want.
Okay, I can do that
When's
too.
the last time you wrote a letter? When's the last time somebody wrote a letter?
How do you communicate with people? Just phone? They got to call you?
No,
Text. He
via
texts.
text. I mean,
Text.
I
Okay.
do. I mean,
Email.
I'm
That's
not.
basically an email.
First of all, I'm
That's
not.
what I tell them. It's a different app.
Yeah.
Just hit the Gmail app,
I have emails. I have an AOL account.
which
Okay,
is
wow.
from 2001.
Okay,
Nah,
yes.
For sure, you got a gateway computer.
Right. No.
Any dials in on earthlink.net.
And I've upgraded.
Hit me on Instant Messenger as long as.
Right, and understanding like that, the power that I have and who I am, and like I said, it's hard to say you hate, the establishment or entity that made us a lot of money, but the fact that they afforded me the opportunity to have the career that I have, I understand what I can do and the doors that it's open.
You got to be. You got to go on. If you ain't got to email people,
Right, exactly. So
you got to. You up here like.
Right, so I have a
don't do
regular
email.
email that everybody. Man, I've had my QB Target AOL email since like 96, 97.
Say, what's your
Dang.
email again?
QB Target 81 at AOL.
Hit him up, y'all.
Oh,
Flood his
that was
email.
such a bad move.
No, that's fine. And so my business email. So I came.
What's
Hall
your
of Fame.
business email?
My business email is Terrell Owens.
Oh, don't do this, T.O.
HOF
We cutting all of this out.
at gmail.com.
Run it.
Don't put
No,
this
run it.
bleep right now.
Hey,
This is
run
what you
it.
bleep.
I'm looking into the camera right now. Only serious business inquiries only.
Who checks it?
Yeah.
Me.
You do?
I get alerts.
Yeah.
I get alerts on my business email.
How many unread emails do you have right now?
Oh
in
my
your
gosh.
account?
Oh my God.
Oh, I got a bunch of junk emails.
No.
About 10,000 coming here soon.
No, but if I-
let's see it.
No. But if I
let's
have,
see it.
I know like if
Where's your phone at?
I'm doing business and I'm expecting emails, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it.
Okay.
I'm gonna check it.
I got
Check
you.
your phone
I
right
gotta
now.
stay on.
So
I
that's
got
why
your
you
phone.
don't do email like that.
Right.
You do it, just
Not like that.
Not like that.
Check your phone.
If it's important,
If it's about
Yeah.
some money,
yeah, automatic.
T.O. at AOL.com.
Right. That's
Backslash.
that's automatic.
Oh
Hit me on my Yahoo.
Come on,
This
man.
guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. So again, Strahan, Nate Burleson. Right now, you're going in that box as
Oh, dang. I mean,
ex-player.
I appreciate that.
right, going into commentating, sports, all that stuff. Right. How does that make you feel that you're trending towards that direction, and what do you have to do to catch up? Because I know you're a competitor.
Yeah.
You want to catch up to Nate and Strahan as well. What do you have to do to get to their level as well?
Yo, those guys are like, when it comes to, post-career,
Yeah.
doing stuff, and they're the standard.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing because, like, y'all, like, Nate is my man, and he's never withheld any good information to me. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten jobs because Nate is like, yo, so-and-so wants to hire me. I can't
Oh,
do
well,
it.
he's good with you then, because he done told me those same stories, and I haven't gotten any follow-ups. And
No
we ain't-
follow-ups?
And we ain't
Dang.
cutting
Email.
Hey,
There's your email probably.
T.O.,
we need
done
you
hit
for
him
Good Morning
500
America.
times.
Nope.
He won't answer back.
He got my number. And we ain't bleeping that out. So no,
No, ain't gonna bleep your number
so
out.
because he done told me. I remember we was in Minnesota, as a matter of fact.
Dang.
At the Super Bowl, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let's do this, T. Like we got some, I got some, some deals coming up, this and that, and the other."
Well, do you know what happened?
No, he ain't hit me up.
Well, again, maybe somebody hit you on the email and you didn't.
yeah,
respond.
Sometimes I think no, he didn't hit my. He got my cell phone. That's
But
direct.
he ain't gonna hit you.
That's
though.
direct.
He ain't gonna hit you. The
Yeah, he
producers
can.
gonna hit your email.
No, he said it. Like he said, hey,
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what he
I'm
said.
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, he not giving me the job.
Right,
No,
right.
He's saying like, yo,
Opportunity.
this is out there.
Right.
You would be great for it. Have your people hit the people up.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And then it's up to them to even give me a shot or not. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But so for those guys, my thing is always, again, they have kind of their thing, and we're in the same like family of
Right.
and vein of broadcasters / talent. But I want to do my version of it. I want to tell the stories that I'm passionate about.
What's your version of it?
I don't know yet. I think that's like the beauty of all of this is I just kind of put my head down and work and let the chips fall where they may. So I'm doing a lot of shows right now, but I think eventually I'm gonna want just my own show that is my own flavor, my own personality, which is fun. My biggest regret playing pro ball was that I didn't have as much fun with it. I was very, very intense.
Yeah,
Anxiety
same here.
ridden, like, cause I wanted to be a perfectionist. Cause you don't make a play, you could be at it. So every practice
Yep.
felt like a game. I would have to get home and sit in my driveway for an hour just to
decompose.
Because I didn't want to take it to my kids. You know what I mean?
And it's so crazy the way that he thinks or he thought. With the career that I had, I thought the same way.
It was
I'm talking about beyond my rookie year, my third year, my fourth year, fifth year.
I can be cut any
I'm
day.
talking about even when I played with the best teams, when I played in Philly, when I played in Dallas, that was the same feeling. And I've made that same statement. About I didn't have enough fun.
I didn't enjoy it.
I didn't enjoy it.
I was tight all the time.
Right,
I was
even
always
though
in
the
a
people,
ball.
I tried to do my best to try to entertain, and it took a little bit of, like I said, that anxiety, that stress off a bit. That's what drove me to want to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
Because it was like getting in that end zone, dude. It was like a
No
stress
feeling like
reliever.
that.
Yeah.
Bro,
There is
it's
no feeling like
scoring
scoring an NFL touchdown.
Man, it's a stress
that
reliever.
part.
I mean, it was like, what
That
do you
was
take to relieve stress? Xanax? I mean, but that's how it felt, man. It was like, because of like just the things that I experienced. I know you experienced your thing, you experienced things with you, and like for me, it was so much that I saw and that I experienced. Like it wasn't as enjoyable as I probably made it seem. And that's one of the things too that why I wanted to I always say I wanted to end it on my own terms, because I wanted to go have fun. I just wanted to just let loose. There's no telling what I could have been like.
Honestly, you probably would be a better. Like I feel like, because I was still in that same generation as y'all, but it's like, I feel like that was everybody. We all felt like that because there's grown men. Like the people behind me is trying to take my job, and the people across me is trying to feed their kids. And so with this whole, like this new age of mental health and for players, like that wasn't around when we was there.
We was a punk if we thought like that.
Yeah, like you,
that was
courage
just part-
all time, period. I don't want to hear anything else. Go make the play. I don't care if you got this issue or this mental, you got a job to do it or somebody else is gonna be in
and that was a mentality that we had, and you know we've tried to discuss it a bit when you talk about Naomi Osaka, who's you know experienced it in tennis. You know what I mean? Simone Biles, who's like arguably one of the greatest gymnasts. You know what I mean? And we talk about Kobe and MJ and LeBron, your mindset, his mindset, the very things that you know people talk about now that triggers mental health or whatever the case may be. That's what made us stronger. That's what made us good. That's what made us great.
You're right. It was the thing, like that pressure of knowing, like, okay, you're either going to catch this pass,
fold,
or you're going to fold. You're going to drop this pass,
Fight
and
or
your
flight.
family might not be able to eat next week.
Right.
That's
If
a
you
lot
do.
of pressure.
It's a fight or
but
flight
it made me hone in, focus in. But like I
Yeah.
said, now on this side of it, I'm like, damn, I spent 7 years there.
But it's
my
easier.
dream came true.
Right,
But you don't
and I didn't
remember the
enjoy-
7
like,
years. I was
I'm
finished.
like, I just block it out because it don't feel like
Right,
the
but
way that it
isn't
should have.
But on the flip side of that, it's easier for us to say that now because we're not.
We're on
in
the
that-
other side.
Right,
Yeah,
we're not
exactly.
in that. We're not in that space.
Do you remember your first touchdown?
Absolutely.
All right, what that night? How was that night going home after scoring your first touchdown?
I don't think I slept that night.
Just the up,
Like
the
the
high
up.
you had.
The week before, so again, like I was just trying to play one game in the league on the kickoff team. That was my goal. Like I wasn't trying to be a Pro Bowler.
crazy to me.
I didn't give a damn about no Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I wanted one game check.
You just wanted to maintain. You just wanted
I
to
was like,
sustain.
yo,
Make it to the week
if
two.
if I could make one game check, that's about $20,000. I could take $10,000 of that after taxes.
Wow.
I have a nice little head start. And if I go into a job interview and it's between me and another candidate, and they be like, "Oh, you played in the NFL," he might think that's cool. I might get the job. That was
That's
my
what you're
mindset.
thinking. Wow.
So I remember my second year, Monday Night Football. We played the Ravens. We got our heads beat in, but I had like 8 catches, 88 yards or something. And this is I was living on someone's couch a couple years earlier, and I remember I was living in a hotel because I didn't get an apartment because I'm like, I get cut any
Yeah, I'd
moment.
be gone the next
So I'm just
day.
gonna stay in a hotel. And Stuart Scott was calling the highlight. And I just laid in bed the whole night like, yo, I can't believe Stuart Scott just said my name.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so when you have those touchdown moments, you really do feel like this euphoric high that just lasts and then get you to the next time. Now, if you get T.O.,
Yeah, he
you
had.
know, he had a lot of
100,
those moments. And so then you start.
So let me
wild stuff.
ask you this, right? So that one night, that feeling, that high, have you felt that since you've left the game?
Anything
Because you've had
equivalent.
you had a lot of jobs. You had a Instagram post that might get 100,000 views, whatever.
Yeah.
Are there anything that can touch that high?
Right,
Is there
because that's
anything?
a discussion,
That's what we
a
search
conversation
for.
that's always been had when guys leave the game. Is like and people that have devoted so much energy and just blood, sweat, and tears into the game,
Yeah.
they always think about there's nothing that can replace
That high.
or what they experience.
I think I've had some highs, after the game. Nothing that probably gets close to there. And I talk about this with my co-founder Troy all the time. And I think it's because when you play, you put so much work and energy into something. And the reality is, whether we had our career or T.O.'s career, you can't really put less work in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you got to do it. And this might just be where I land. This might be where T.O. lands.
Exactly.
But you can't control that.
Absolutely.
So I think when you get those moments and that euphoric high, because you realize, the stars aligned for me.
Yeah.
This linebacker slipped at the perfect moment.
Right.
This dude took the wrong angle. And that had nothing to do with how much I trained.
Right.
That was just the stars aligning. And on this side of it, I feel like you can control it a little bit more. So when those things happen, the big moments, whether I sign a new contract or get a job or we close a deal for the company, we've been working for that for 2 years. And it's like, we had to keep that in mind while we were working. So it feels good, but it's almost expected a little bit where it don't matter in football,
sport,
man.
it's
When you
different.
score, it's like, yo.
Yeah. I really honestly think I should have had his career.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel. Like, because his, 98, 99, I'm with Moss and Carter, right? 'Cause I tell him this all the time. Like, to me, if J.J. Stokes would have been Randy Moss, you would have never heard of T.O. Because he would have never got on the
I love
field.
this. So this is where our show, it fades to black.
But you see what I'm saying?
It fades to black, and then Hatch wakes up.
If Moss would have been JJ and not had a great career, then Hatch would have been T.O.
That's real, though.
You know what I mean? As a receiver, that's how you think. Like, there's no way that I did not have the work ethic to not have 150 touchdowns in the NFL. Right?
Yeah.
I had the work ethic, but the stars didn't align for my career to go that way.
Right. Now, look, I played in Cleveland, right?
Yep.
We ran through a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And so much of how your career goes as a receiver
depends on
who's throwing you the rock.
Depending
You
upon
know what I
your
mean? So your
quarterback.
upside depends on who's throwing you. And there's
Absolutely.
I don't care how good you are, you can't outplay bad coaching and you can't outplay bad quarterback as a receiver.
Absolutely.
Now, there are some people that are like, there's the 55% that I said could be replaced by the CFL players who are still elite athletes in every stretch of the imagination. There's the between 55% and the 90% that are very, very good NFL players. And depending on the situation, like you could be up or you could be on this
down.
side. And then there's the 10% that are like, even by our standards, when you're in there, you're like, oh no, he's different.
Yeah, he's a different
Right?
type of animal. Yeah.
When I was with AJ Green,
I'm part of
AJ was a different type
it's
of
like
animal.
AJ showed up and I was like, oh, okay.
That's different.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
That. It is way too easy for. And there's players like that. I'm
Yeah.
sure T.O. was one of the players. I didn't play with T.O.
No, I wasn't that till later on.
You wasn't that till later. Yeah, like, so there's like certain guys you
But-
see right away. And it don't always go that way because Josh Gordon was also.
True.
Josh Gordon, it was like, yeah, no, this is. True.
But that's how God, like you said, it's all about the stars aligning. God just kind of made me who I am, who I was, and He didn't want to give too much of me to the world right away.
Right.
He
He's like,
took
yo,
his time. He took his time with me.
I got the ho-
You know
I
what
got
mean?
the- I got
I'm
the-
talking about-
I got
it's
to
like-
hone this
Right,
thing.
exactly. I'm like a sculptor,
Like,
dog.
yeah,
It's
I
like,
hope-
did we
God,
say
Nah, man, I ain't gonna waste his time with emails.
Exactly.
Man. No, I got the,
Exactly.
I got the mold.
Right, God took his
got time.
time with me, dog. You know what I mean? I just wish He would have took just a little bit more to where I just kind of would have eased on into this social media era.
Yeah, it's tough for you.
I wish you would have
God.
spent more time with your face.
Yeah.
That's what I
That's
wish.
weird.
Oh man.
But no, Drew, we thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate you taking time out to come on the show, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
know,
Yeah,
I appreciate
get
it.
I know
your
you're busy.
popcorn
Well, tell me about,
ready.
like, say, I know you do all the skits and sketches on your
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, so tell them where they can find you on
They
that
can find
as
me
well.
at Hawkman, every social media platform.
At Hawk,
Twitter,
at
Instagram,
HAWK.
HAWK.
No,
I do email, so it's very easy for me
There
to,
it is.
to get those kind of
Oh,
social
yeah,
media
that's
handles.
what's up. He got comedy with him too a little bit.
Oh, right,
You
yes,
done-
sir.
you just
Model,
encouraged
comedian, all
Yeah,
that. He do
you
all
done
that, ladies and
encouraged him. We
gentlemen.
done made him comfortable. You know what I mean? We gave him. He didn't get no popcorn, but I mean, yo, he's really
It's there
comfortable.
for him. No, it's there
You
for
know
him.
what I
No,
mean?
we appreciate you, though,
Yeah,
man.
for sure, for sure.
Absolutely.
Already. Andrew Hawkins on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Peace. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Hawkins on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast.
Oh yeah,
Hey, that was a good one.
I had my popcorn ready. Still got my popcorn ready for that one.
You know you're gonna lose though if y'all do race. You know that, right?
Okay,
I'm just saying. Right? He was a 4.3. I was a 4.3.
Was.
But just leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
First of all, I didn't take you for a history major.
What?
I didn't take you for a history major. You said was. That's past tense. What did you go to school for? You're a history major?
Langston University.
I see neither one of you, and you see what he said, neither one of you put no money up.
No, we didn't.
Exactly.
There it is. Appreciate your Hawk. Get your Popcorn Ready podcast. Till next week. See you guys.